Imagine a river so still it feels lifeless, until you see the faint ripple. A shadow glides just beneath the surface, impossibly large, impossibly silent. In these waters, the locals tell stories of a predator unlike any other, a creature too massive to be real, too elusive to be caught, and too deadly to be forgotten. They call him Gustave. For years, Gustave has haunted the Ruzizi River, his name whispered with a mix of fear and reverence. To some, he's a crocodile, to others, he's a curse, but to everyone who's crossed his path, he's a nightmare made flesh. It all began one quiet evening. Two fishermen set out along the Ruzizi River in Burundi, a small nation nestled between Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the water, while the men kept an uneasy watch for hippos, Africa's most dangerous animal. But as they cast their lines, pulling in catfish after catfish, their greatest threat wasn't a hippo rising from the depths. It was something ancient, something that had been perfecting its craft long before humans ever walked the earth. The river grew still, save for the faint ripples of a massive shadow gliding through the water. The fishermen didn't notice it, not yet. They were too busy reveling in their haul, unaware that their movements had attracted the attention of a monster. One of the men leans down to pick up a large catfish still struggling on the end of the hook, and then it struck. Water erupts with giant jaws seizing the fisherman by his chest and dragging him under. With one flick of its mighty tail, the gigantic crocodile has already pushed itself deep into the waters of the Ruzizi River, and the only sign of the horrific attack are rapidly diminishing ripples.
A 12-year-old girl following a crocodile attack have found human remains. The girl was reportedly attacked while swimming in a creek with her family near a remote town.
This is the story of a crocodile that became a legend, a killer that turned the Ruzizi River into a graveyard and left 300 victims in his wake, or so the story goes. Reports of a Nile crocodile killing people from Lake Tanganyika and the Ruzizi River started emerging in the late 1980s. But this wasn't just any crocodile, it was something far more terrifying. At over 20 feet in length and tipping the scales at over a ton, Gustave was a creature that defied belief, and his bloodlust was relentless. In just 1 month in 2004, he killed 17 people. The stories painted a horrifying picture of a crocodile with a strange hunting method. He would splash water at fishermen from his tail, knocking them off their boats into the water, where he would wait for the perfect moment to strike. But Gustave wasn't just known for his deadly technique. He was said to be bulletproof. Soldiers who tried to stop him reported shooting at him, only for the crocodile to survive the attack and keep hunting. Some even claimed he ate the bullets fired at him. Gustave was not just a killer, he was a force of nature, seemingly untouchable. Gustave's reign of terror stretched from Lake Tanganyika to the Ruzizi River, covering a territory that extended nearly 20 miles upstream into a roadless area of Ruzizi National Park. It wasn't just his size that made him so dangerous, it was his intelligence. He was a creature of habit, migrating between Lake Tanganyika and the river in search of mates and food. But where he went, death followed. Patrice Faye, a French naturalist, was called to deal with the situation in 1998. At first, Patrice tried to kill him, but after a close encounter, he found himself unable to pull the trigger. "I see this magnificent prehistoric creature, the last of the really big crocodiles," Patrice later said. "I put the rifle down. I cannot kill him. I must save him." For the next 2 years, Patrice followed Gustave, tracking his every movement. He observed that Gustave's diet consisted mostly of fish and cows. But there were rumors of a far more chilling feat, one that haunted Patrice's thoughts. Gustave was said to have eaten an entire hippo. But it wasn't the animals Gustave was truly interested in. Patrice believes that Gustave became a killer of humans after feasting on bodies thrown into the river during the wars in Burundi. The taste of human flesh turned the crocodile into a man-eater. In 2004, a documentary crew arrived in Burundi to film an attempt to capture the infamous crocodile known as Capturing the Killer Croc. This was the first time the world saw Gustave. He was massive, with bullet wounds and scars all over his body, evidence of his many narrow escapes. But what truly made him terrifying was his intelligence. Patrice and his team set a trap with bait, including a live goat. But every time they thought they had him, Gustave proved too clever. Once, the trap flooded and the goat was gone the next morning. Gustave had outsmarted them again. Gustave wasn't just hunting for survival, he was hunting for sport. The idea that a creature could be this calculated, this deadly, was something the locals and the world struggled to comprehend. Despite numerous attempts, the trap was never successful. It became clear. Gustave was more than just a predator, he was a master of survival. So, where is Gustave now? Is he still out there, lurking beneath the murky waters of the Ruzizi River, waiting for the next opportunity to strike? Reports of his death or capture have circulated over the years, but there's no definitive proof. In 2009, some claimed to have spotted him, and by 2015, sightings continued. But no one knows for sure if the beast is still alive or if he ever was killed in the first place. The last confirmed sightings were in 2009, though rumors persisted into 2015 and even 2019, with some claiming he was killed. Yet no evidence, no photos or trophies has ever surfaced. As of today, Gustave's fate remains a mystery, adding to the aura of the indomitable, death-defying legend. The legend of Gustave lives on, partly due to the growing mythology surrounding him. While many believe he's still out there, his true fate remains a mystery. Gustave's story isn't just one of a killer crocodile, it's a tale of nature's raw power and humanity's fragile place within it. Gustave represents the wild, untamed forces that we cannot control, no matter how advanced our technology or weapons might be. His existence is a reminder that there are places in the world where we are not the dominant species. In the remote corners of Africa, the balance between man and nature remains unpredictable, and sometimes we are simply at the mercy of creatures like Gustave. The legend of Gustave, the killer crocodile, remains one of the most chilling tales of man versus beast. Whether he's dead or still roaming the waters, we can never truly escape the terror that his name evokes. Would you dare to wade into the waters of the Ruzizi, knowing what might be beneath? As the ripples fade into the dark waters, the mystery of Gustave endures, leaving us with only one question: what other creatures are waiting in the shadows?